through pain and hardship, I think, is the number one thing that men should go through. Going through that's scary. You know, not 99%, not 98%, not 50%, 100% of them, of the survivors of the attempt, regretted it. What does that tell you? It's never the right move.
No, I agree with you.
It's never the right move.
It's okay. Law of attraction. A very controversial topic, especially religion, right? A lot of people in Islam and Christianity say, well, you know what, if God's in control. My perception of that is a little different. I feel I co-create with my higher powers, right? When you tell him you want to manifest this perfect woman, do you believe in law of attraction?
Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Bags, expensive.
Don't touch me. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. No, I have to back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Welcome to another episode of Stroke of Success Podcast. It's your favorite host, KB. Today's guest is someone really, really special. I'll share the backstory how I came across as an individual. I didn't even tell him yet. About 6 to 8 months ago, I'm on social media putting on my content. My team's putting on my content, and my assistant goes, "Hey, check this guy out. He lives near you, Orlando." And I checked him out, and he was talking about masculine, feminine energy. Then I went to his page, great content about how to raise kids, diet, training, entrepreneurship, and I started to look him up. We're similar businesses. I'm in the med spa aesthetic world. He's in the wellness world. And then I came to find out he's a cop. And then I came to find out he was a cop. And then we have common friends from Dr. Patel. Shout out to Dr. Patel. Sanjay, the mayor of Orlando, of course, we all know. Many other people. And then I DM'd him. We had a little chat. And then I introduced one of his other buddies recently, Steven, who came to find out the Goliath Ventures. So a lot to cover here. Again, someone very similar story as mine. Broken family, moved from city to city, changed his career, mid-30s later. Welcome my guest, Tomo.
Hey, thanks, brother.
You, man. Finally.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be on here, and I think you and I are going to have a lot of conversations in the near future. Whether it's about wellness, about the medical side, whether it's about the Goliath Ventures, investment funds, things like that. But before we even started talking on camera, you were asking me about family, about masculinity. We were talking about religion. I don't know. Are we able to talk about religion, politics, family, and all this stuff on here?
And you can curse on my podcast.
We can curse.
Yes.
Do we think we need to wait? What is it? Yes. 3 minutes, YouTube guys? 3 minutes, and then YouTube won't penalize you?
Good to know. Yeah, all open forum.
Yeah.
I just want to chat it up, man. Casual conversation, relax.
No, I love it, man.
Before we start doing this, let's share a compliment about you, my friend. You wore what you've seen on camera. Another gentleman we both look up to, Patrick B.
Yeah.
I met him a few times. We had a conversation. Man, same person you see on camera.
Yeah.
Even more humble in real life.
Yeah. I mean, PBD, a lot of people, like when you can talk about, who's some of the most famous people on the internet and social media. Andrew Tate. Okay. Andrew Tate.
Give it to him.
Love him or hate him, don't care. He's famous. He built himself on social media and YouTube and everything. He, a lot of times, is playing a character. PBD does not.
He doesn't play that.
I really don't, But, Tate's a very unique individual. He's also wildly intelligent. He's probably a super genius.
I agree.
You know what I mean? That his dad was a super genius. And he's very calculated, and he knows when to play the character. He knows when to be himself. But
I agree with
it's almost like he puts on a sunglass. You ever see him do that?
Yes, and he changes.
Yeah, it's so funny.
He changes.
It's like it's like the Superman thing, but it's the opposite.
100%. And there's some behind the scenes of him. You see him walk in, and people come up to him. He's very different. He's very more kinder.
Yeah.
You're right. But PBD, again, that example. And actually, I saw you and PBD had some pictures together at the sales event that took place a month ago.
That's right.
I love that. Dude, you're like, you are what you see on camera. You're a gentleman. I was there at the gala with you. My two team members were there. And I'm very focused on mannerisms of a person. I'm a New Yorker, right? Mm-hmm. And I pay attention to how a person approaches females. I was raised by a single mom. For me, respect of a female is super, super important. The way you greeted my team and shook their hand, you asked their names, you invited every one of us to go meet you at London House afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like, I was like, this is the type of person I want to be friends with. This is a person I can learn from. I'm older than you, man. I'm 43.
Are you?
Yeah. So
You look young, bro. You look awesome.
it's a mess spot, bro. But and I'm amazed, man. So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
a
that.
man of value. I'm so happy to have you on here. Share with my audience. It's a lot to get into. Goliath, your wellness clinics. I'm looking up. Are doing amazing work. I passed by it the other day a few times. My wife knows about it. Dr. Patel talks about you.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, I like to talk about the mindset development, subconscious, conscious mind development from childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was told that our mindset, our subconscious, is developed from 0 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us came from divorced families, immigrant parents.
Mm-hmm.
I have my story. I'll share mine in your podcast tomorrow. Today, just bring us back. How were you raised? What was the environment like? And what was your mindset development like?
So it's funny. I was talking to my mother actually. So I was raised pretty much by my mother most of the time. Mother and father got divorced. I actually don't even remember when. It was before 10, 7, 8, something like that. So that divorce happened. Father angrily left, sold the house for pennies on the dollar, went to Croatia.
Just like that.
Gone. He ended up coming back, and I have a relationship with him now. I love my father, I'm appreciative for him for several things, but I wasn't raised by him. So from there, we struggled, living in efficiency apartments, things like that. And like back then, we're talking about the 90s, and in Croatian culture, you didn't get divorced. My mother was the one who triggered the divorce. She gave him an ultimatum, right? So that happened. They got the divorce. He left. We're growing up very, very meagerly, very poor. It's okay. You know what I mean? I loved it. I didn't even realize at the time. I love it now. Because people the reason why I love that I grew up poor and that I grew up struggling and that I grew up able to understand that it was a struggle, for money, for everything, it makes all this other shit more fun. It's only fun to be able to buy a $500 steak when you can think about the fact that you grew up in a $500 a month apartment. That's fucking cool.
Hit the spot.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool stuff, and I mean, I've been broke several times throughout my life. I mean, starting my companies, I was broke as well, but getting back into my childhood, I grew up without a father. Mother had to work full time. My brother and I grew up a lot of times by ourselves through our teenage years. We were by ourselves,
You and your brother?
Yeah.
How old is the difference between you and your brother?
15 months.
Oh, wow.
Very close. They call it almost Irish twins.
Yes, my daughter does that.
Okay.
I have a daughter, 2 daughters, 8 and 7, same thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. By the way, I want to touch on that quickly. 2 brothers. I'm an only child, so I can't relate, but I know Tate and his brother Tristan.
Correct.
I think that's another thing why you not idolize, I admire him, but
I admire them both.
you do.
Yes.
But it makes sense. The brothers on their own. It's like parallel.
Yeah. Yeah. And, their mother and father got divorced early.
Yes. Very similar.
Yes. Very similar ideas, very similar mindsets. They went some different paths. I went a different path. I had a stepfather also growing up. I call him a stepfather. They weren't technically married. But he was my first other male figure after my father. He ended up committing suicide.
I'm about to get to that. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
So 2 father figures ripped out of my life. One violently, one, I guess tragically. You want to call divorce tragic? I think divorce is tragic. Tragic, you know what I mean? So, you have these 2 father figures basically torn out of your life. So I gravitated towards anything that I could potentially find as a father figure. Me and you share a common father figure. I think it's a father figure to anybody born in the 80s or 90s. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a father figure to me. I looked at him and I was like, yep, he's doing it right. That's what got me into bodybuilding. That's what made me want to work out. You see Arnold on the screen and, you see
persona.
It was the confidence.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And not all of it was real. A lot of it was just movies.
Angles and scripts.
But I watched Pumping Iron.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Okay.
I had the original VHS. I still have the original VHS cassette. And I bought it. And that VHS was 1978, I think it was, when it was actually released. So 78 from the VHS. And I remember watching it over and over and over and over again. And even though Arnold, he was kind of playing a role, he was also kind of playing himself. So, seeing the confidence, and he was pretty fucking cocky in that movie. He's pretty cocky in that docudrama, right? Yeah. But seeing that, I was like, that's what I understood how a man to be, because I didn't have a male role model.
Yeah.
two of my male role models got basically torn out of my life. So, through my teenage years, it was, I don't feel like I struggled, but I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
Up here. Then when I got into college, struggled through college, hated that shit, hated college, hated school, hated how they taught me. And halfway through college, a couple friends, I think I was going to be, I was doing personal training, and I was going to do exercise science. I think everybody's tried to major in that at some point. You know what I mean? It's easy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I like working out, exercise science. Hated it. Hated personal training. Hated training people. Two of my friends tell me, hey, why don't you go try Police Academy? We just got done with Police Academy. You'd love it. You're in shape. It's good for men.
What year?
This is 2007.
So this is the economy is about to fall apart soon.
Yeah.
I think president is Bush Jr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Timeline. I like timeline.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So 2007. Yeah, that's right. That's and I get into Police Academy.
How old were you?
2007, I'd be 22, 21,
Okay.
right in there.
Young
Yeah,
buck.
20. Yeah, I mean, you're fresh. You're a pup. You know what I mean? You had to be 21 to go to a Police Academy there. So I was either 21 or 22. I don't remember. So I go there. I go through a physical test. Back in the day, you had to do a physical test to get into Police Academy. Now they'll let
Not anymore.
no, they'll let any fat fuck come in, and
Yeah.
they try to get you in shape. And firefighting, same thing.
Yeah.
Gary behind the cameras, ex-firefighter.
Yep.
It was the same thing. Back in the day, you had to be in shape to get in.
Yep.
Which is how it should be. So I pass all that, flying colors, mile and a half easy, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. And next thing I know, I'm full bore into Police Academy, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to be a cop then. I call myself an accidental police officer. It was an accident. Happened to fall into it. I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I'm not, I never wanted to be a business owner, never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, happy accident. Pretty cool.
Two happy accidents.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm grateful. But I also believe in God's plan. I also
So you believe in God?
Absolutely. 100%.
But before we started the interview, you don't have a label.
You want to know what's funny? I'm going to show you something.
Please
I'll show the camera something too. So I have a cross right here.
Love it.
Okay. So I have a cross right here. I grew up Roman Catholic.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show you something in my nice Himalaya croc bag. What's that?
Quran. Wow. It's a small Quran.
It's a small
I see
pocket
it?
Quran, please. It's a small pocket Quran. It's written in Arabic. It was a gift from my friend Shako over in Dubai. He's been on my podcast. I've been on his. So, I believe in God. I've always had a problem with organized religion.
Yes.
Grew up Roman Catholic. I tried the non-denominational Catholic thing. And I've also prayed in a mosque. The first time that so I felt the presence of God talking to God. I pray, I talk to God. I believe gratitude is a form of prayer.
Number one thing for me every day.
Every morning.
Every
morning, gratitude. I do a gratitude jar.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, so instead of a gratitude list.
I do this journal. You do
So I'll do a jar. So you can do it with a cup like
Okay.
this. Very easy. And you have this jar, and what I do every morning is I write 3 things on slips of paper that I'm grateful for. And I fold them up and I put them in the jar. Every day, except for Sunday. On Sunday, I take the whole jar and I dump it out, and then I read them all from the week. It's an excellent practice.
Take away, my audience. Take that. Write that down. This will be a good reel. Amazing.
It's an excellent
Exercise.
way to not only practice your gratitude daily, but then remind yourself what you were grateful for all week. It's super cool.
Wow.
So, but I talk to God. I've yelled at God. I've sworn at God. I've denounced God. I've, and like weird things have happened to me. I've felt the presence of God. I felt the hand of God. I've been saved from multiple things when I was in my law enforcement career from God. But when I started learning more about religion and what man says about religion, and then I'm a believer in the Abrahamic religions. That's Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Those are the Abraham. By the way, they're all related. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yes.
The audience
The book of
watching
God.
this, they all are related,
100%.
and they all technically are worshiping the same God.
Yes.
For some people that I don't want to call you ignorant. Just you don't know. People don't know what they don't know. So, oh no, they worship Allah. They don't worship God. I'm like, Allah means the God.
Yes, exactly. And it's very ignorant. You're right. I agree with you.
But I'm a man that loves God. I'm a man that appreciates God. I'm a man that knows that God is real and that has felt His touch, whether it was God Himself or whether you're a Christian, you believe in, actually they all believe in angels, whether you believe in a patron saint, Whether you believe in a guardian angel, I don't care. Whether you believe it was Jesus himself, I don't care what you believe, as long as you believe in God. And if you don't, I highly recommend you seek him out.
Sure.
Because when I started getting closer to what I felt in the presence of God, I was like, oh, cool. And then it made me kind of like accountable. It makes you accountable. So like, I'm accountable, like a man would be accountable to his wife and his children, yeah? Okay, you're accountable to that. Let's say you're a single man, no kids, no wife. Who are you accountable to? Yourself? That's an easy way to get screwed up. But if you're accountable to God, and you look at something like that, and I look at it as, would God be proud of me? God's the Father, right? So God's the Father. Would your Father be proud of you looking at you right now?
Wow.
So when I look at every action that I do, it might actually be on my phone. It might actually be, it's on the background of my phone. Is this action getting you closer to or further from your goal? So every action that I take, I look at it from that perspective. And you look at it from a perspective of, would God be proud of me? Because when God's proud of you, you get super lucky, don't you? When you're doing the right thing, shit just happens.
Yes, doors open.
Doors open. Why am I here on this podcast? Why are you giving me the respect to invite me on your podcast? You mentioned it, how I approached you and how I approached the women that worked in your company.
Amazing.
With honor and integrity.
Yes.
Shaking their hand. Being polite. Asking them. Not being inappropriate. Not looking at them in a way that is could be perceived negatively.
Yeah, that I've had friends come to the med spa and do that with them. Friends.
Of course,
I call them friends.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. You know what I mean? These are girls that work in my clinic. They're working for me. They help me with my dream, my vision. My wife works there too. And the fact that this guy, who I met him second time that day,
Now imagine if that was your wife. You see that?
100%.
So my journey has, I talk about my journey being so amazing, and then when I tell people like all the shit that I've been through, almost been killed multiple times in the law enforcement capacity, father leaving at a young age, my stepfather committing suicide. Like, wow, like you really went through a lot. I'm like, I don't think so. I feel pretty blessed. I feel pretty amazing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, your wiring's very different. Because I
did that myself.
Using the bodybuilding was a big part of that.
100%. That built discipline.
Right.
But at the same time that bodybuilding was building discipline and bodybuilding was building the awareness that discipline mattered and that consistency mattered, right? At the same time, it was building a visual perspective of, what's the word? It's like of not being good enough, right? Mm-hmm. So, because I was comparing myself to who? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sure.
Let me tell you guys something. I don't care how many steroids you take. I don't care how long you work out. You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Only Arnold Schwarzenegger looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I got pretty close. We can find some pictures where I had some comparisons.
I saw one.
And there were some pretty cool pictures where I'm like, oh, fuck, he might be my dad. Like, we might be related.
And I'm just saying this. I don't know how old this picture was. Again, did research on you?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it in the mirror, and the picture like this. Every cut, it's so defined.
Yeah.
Upper body. It was insane.
Yeah, and I loved it, but it was also, bodybuilding is unhealthy. Being in shape is healthy. Bodybuilding,
yeah,
and most fitness competition is very unhealthy. It's not very good for you.
No.
Just to be honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the word steroids get thrown out a lot. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many steroids you take. By the way, you're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not going to look like my buddy Phil Heath. You're not going to look like, no. I mean, maybe Stallone. Stallone's a little smaller.
He is.
Yeah, he was a little smaller and ripped.
That's true.
And ripped,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Arnold was massive. Arnold was, you're not going to look like The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock.
I've seen The Rock in person.
Yeah.
He's a fucking monster.
Yes, I saw him
He's
at
a
the
monster,
vault.
bro.
At the vault.
He's huge.
He's huge. Tomo, police officer, law enforcement.
Yeah.
I have some buddies, NYPD, still working on the force. I had people in Miami and PD as well, sergeants, lieutenants. Bro, the stories I heard. Run me a day, man. You wake up, you're not driving the Austin, the Lambos. You're in a car, cop car.
Mm-hmm.
What's the craziest story, man? Quickly, you could say, man, KB. Looking back, this one thing was just, what the fuck happened?
So I'll give you the craziest story, and this actually circles back to an interaction with God or an angel or somebody. So I came from Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, I worked in a small area called Bracknell, and right on the outskirts of where we worked in our zones, was the largest heroin trafficking area in Cleveland. Gang members, guns, drugs, shit,
Everything, all the above.
shit was heavy. It was great. I loved it.
Not
It
actually.
was awesome. It was awesome. So I was doing that. So I came to Clearwater, and I'm going through Post Academy, which is basically, like your field training. So I'm in field training. All right, everything's fine. When you're in field training, when you came from a different agency, it's kind of like you're just going through the motions, whatever. And cops get very complacent, right? And in this complacency, you can get yourself killed. And I'm on my last day. It was either my last day or my second last day. I think it was my last day of field training. My field training officer, I'm driving, full uniform, working, whatever. Field training officer is right here, and I don't even think he was in uniform. I think he was in plain clothes because that's how they observe you. You're now on your own, and he's basically just observing and grading you. So we get a call for I forgot what the code was or the signal was but it was basically like a mentally deranged male. It was like a young kid that called about it. All right, cool, whatever. We go there, and we're all having fun. Yeah, we had multiple cars. It was a slow night. I think it was Christmas Eve or a couple days before Christmas. I'm going there, and I'm like, all right, my last couple days FTO, people are watching me, do it by the book. This is going to be important why I tell you this. So here's a house. All right, so here's the house, okay? So this is the house, okay, right here. Up here is a patio. This patio has like a gate and like a fence around, so there's like this little breezeway right here.
Okay.
So if we go inside this patio, if this guy's going to come out and try to kill us, we're trapped. Can't get out. So you got to be careful, right? So I'm like, all right, you guys stay out here. I'm being very by the book.
Yeah.
You guys stay out here. I don't think this is a bullshit call.
Yeah.
You guys stay out here.
Routine
I'm
call.
gonna run in. I'm gonna knock on the door, and I'm gonna come back out, so I'm at cover, so we're not inside this breezeway in a trap situation. So the guy comes, and there's a window on each side of the door. Comes by, and he's got a rifle in his hand. He's got 2 pistols in his pocket, and he's got a shotgun on his back. I'm like, okay, give me code 1, emergency traffic, shut the radio down, give me multiple units, and give me a sergeant with a shield. I need every rifle in the city to come over here. That calm, because that's how it is. If you know what to do, that's how you do it. We make a perimeter, all this stuff. So I'm going to cut the story a little bit. There's some funny shit where we're basically running around the neighborhood trying to stop traffic because nobody knew. But
You have to do that.
you have to do that.
Because a car can come by, and a bypasser can walk by, right?
Of course. And this guy's coming out of the house, and he's searching for us.
He's looking for you guys.
He's looking. 2 guys ended up shooting him. I don't remember if he actually died or not. But the part of the story that's the most interesting to me is I was on the corner of the house next to him. So here's his house, and he's walking between the houses, and there's this house right here. I'm on the corner of this house. I am getting blinded because Christmas lights are flashing in my eyes. And apparently this guy turned the corner, and I don't remember the exact situation because honestly I blacked out through half of it. Because that's what you do. You don't really remember, right? I don't know if he pointed at them or he pointed at me. I don't remember if a shot fired this way or if a shot fired that way, but either way, my partner shot him, and I got ripped back, and I fell on my ass. And if you're wearing a bulletproof vest, you can grab it and you can pull it back. I figured my partner pulled me back because the guy pointed the gun or shot at me or something, right? So this is multiple times that I've been shot at at this point. So I feel this, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then we're doing after action. They get them, and we all, because it's a shooting situation, you get trucked into the department, and now you're getting interviewed by IA, and you're talking to everybody because they have to make sure everybody did the right thing. Because the person got shot and potentially could die. So a couple guys started making fun of me and saying like, "Oh, you fell on your ass." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Didn't you pull me out from my back?" They're like, "Dude, no one was with you. Like, you were on that corner alone." I'm like, "No." When I'm telling you could feel the force of a pull on that vest, it knocked me on my ass. I went from like this on the corner tactically to being pulled, and I fell on my ass.
You're a big guy.
I'm 235 pounds.
It's not easy to do that to you.
I'm a 235-pound bodybuilder at this time.
Boom, we found.
So
Was it bushes there?
no, it was just next to the house. Next to the house. I'm on the
Cement?
corner of the house.
Yeah.
So here's the house.
Yeah.
I'm on this corner.
Yeah.
The bad guy's on this corner.
Wow.
and I get pulled backwards and fell on my ass. That was maybe the third or fourth time in law enforcement that I felt the presence of God. Somebody intervened. Don't know who it is, but it wasn't any of the officers. That is a pretty crazy story.
Have you heard the story before, Gary?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. That was something that I was like, huh. After everybody confirmed there was nobody with me,
You went
I'm
around,
like,
hey man, did you do that? Did you do that? You go around?
well, I thought it was my FTO. I thought my
Yeah.
FTO was right behind me.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He went to the other corner. Had no clue. So, when I tell people like that I've felt the presence of God and that I know He's there, I know there's another power there. I don't know if it's an angel. I don't know if it's God. I don't know if it's Jesus Himself. I don't know. Something intervened, and I'm like, cool. So through my law enforcement career, I felt the presence of that, and eventually I got to a very depressed, stressful point. I'm not sure if you heard this story.
No, I haven't. Please share.
You heard it in Dubai, right? So, I got to a point where I became very depressed. Very depressed. This is while I was in Clearwater. It was due to a horrifying scene of like a kid dying and then like hearing the parents scream. And basically I had recurring nightmares. I had insomnia for like, months. It felt like I didn't sleep for months. Basically, like I felt like I was staring at the ceiling for months. I felt like you're going to go insane. Once you get to a certain point of not sleeping, and the only time you fall asleep and you're having nightmares, it's like you don't want to do it anymore. So eventually I started to get to a point where the only time I fell asleep, and the only time I could fall asleep is when I would drink a bunch of alcohol. So I'd go from 1 bottle of whiskey to 1.5 bottles of whiskey, to then 2 bottles of whiskey, to then 2 bottles of whiskey and a pistol, to then looking at that pistol like it was real tasty. And then eventually I got to a point where I was pissed drunk, probably drink a couple bottles of whiskey. And I'm by myself. I'm drinking by myself. And I got to a point where I eventually, lifted it up. And this is 1911, and I cocked the hammer back, and if you press that trigger, half pound in 1911, that's going off. And I sat there and I thought about it, and it was right next to my head, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is going to feel good. I'm going to sleep. This is how I thought. Because you're fucking crazy. You're losing your mind. You're not sleeping. So you're going through this process, and then I'm like, what would my family think? You have your two sides, right? You have an angel and a devil. If people don't know this, you have your conscience, which I think your conscience, is the voice of God. Okay, so my conscience saying, what would your family think? Why would you do this? This isn't right. People would be sad. My other side's do it. I was there for maybe 5-10 seconds. I think. Who knows? Maybe I was there for minutes. Maybe I was there for a fucking hour. I have no idea. But I eventually was like, okay, not going to do it. Put it down, and I never thought about doing that again. Ever. Never hit me again to do it. I'm like, okay. So, going through pain and hardship, I think is the number one thing that men should go through. Going through that's scary. When my mom first heard this story, she's crying her eyes out. She's like, I can't believe you were there. And she's like, I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to see that and help you. I said, I'm not. Super happy I went through that. You know how much strength I get knowing that wasn't the right thing? And you know how I really hope that somebody sees this and they're like, he's right, it's not the right thing. It's the coward's way out. Sorry. It's, like I hate to say, like people are like, oh, he was haunted. Oh, he felt it. No, you're a pussy. I'm sorry. I hate to be that like mean about it. I had a family member, somebody that I cared about I was growing up with, commit suicide. Guess what? I think that was a pussy move. I think that was cowardly. You go through it. You don't hide away from adversity, which is what I try to do. You push through that shit. You go through it.
You don't think sometimes the chemical in your brain, it can be so bad?
I don't know if you can blame it on a chemical, and I know there are those cases.
Right.
I know that people do have certain chemical things where, they aren't able to their brain isn't properly working. But I will tell you right now, those are such rare cases.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's a mentality issue.
I'm with you on that.
It's a weakness issue. It's a confidence issue. And people don't understand how precious life is. And the reason why I'm so happy that I didn't do that is because I remembered and I became very grateful for all the times that I was saved. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be here. I almost fucked that one up. Right? it's a hard conversation. People watching this like may shy away from this type of conversation, this type of thought process, but it's real, and most of us feel it. Most people at one point in their life has felt like that at some point. And it's crazy if you think about it. It's crazy if you think that most people have felt that at one point in their life, and it's like, wow. If that's the case, then it's not abnormal. It's just something that we have to feel and get through and realize that that's not the right way to go. You have a larger purpose. But what guides people towards this, man? They lose their purpose.
Yeah, look, I mean, Tomo, you know these people that lose like a multi-billion-dollar, these Ponzi people, these rip off people, they get caught,
Yeah.
and they take a gun. They'll be embarrassment to their grandkids. I mean, you know, you could see that happening. Like, man, he's 40 years in federal prison, like a Diddy, bro. Diddy, I think he'll come out. Honestly, I think he will. But if he doesn't, I mean,
Do you want to know? There was a couple people that survived. I don't know if we can say the S word on camera. The attempt, right?
Yeah.
People survived the attempt.
Okay.
And psychologists interviewed them afterwards, and they were like, "What did you think?" Because there was a few people that survived that they jumped off a bridge.
Okay.
Or like they try to hang themselves and
Got it.
unsuccessful. Whatever. They try to do things that were
And they failed.
unsuccessful, and they failed.
Yeah.
And the psychologists and the psychiatrists asked them, they said, "What were you thinking after you started the attempt?" Every single one of them regretted it immediately.
Wow.
Every one. Not 99%, not 98%, not 50%. 100% of them, of the survivors of the attempt, regretted it. What does that tell you? It's never the right move.
No, I agree with you.
It's never the right move.
There's no right.
There is no actual excuse. What if you want to ask me right now, Tomo, would you rather be alive in prison for the rest of your life, okay, or die right now, or die in a year, alive for the rest of my life in prison? 100%. Why? Because then there's opportunity. You don't know what's going to happen.
But a law can pass. You can get pardoned.
You don't know, but maybe your life in prison was. Maybe you will find God in prison. People do it all the time.
And you can impact people's life through that.
Maybe you will impact people's life. You don't know. So there's never the answer, But going through hardship and going through all that stuff, going through my police career, I don't regret a single thing. I was telling this to someone the other day. They're like, "You have any regrets?"
Yeah.
I said, "Not a single one." They're like, "Why are you so confident in that?" I said, "Because I actually know who I am and who I want to be and where I want to go." Look, I know. Why? Because I have it written down. I have it written down. Everything. Everything that I want. This is a challenge. I'll challenge all of you. I'll challenge you too.
I heard Steven talk about it.
I want it. Did you?
He mentioned it yesterday, but go ahead.
I want to say, well, this is one that I just completed,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's even more robust than what I've done and what Steve may have done. I don't know. Maybe he did this too. So, go on and get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever you want to do. I do pencil because I like to erase. I like to permanence. Maybe have a permanence problem.
There you go.
So, write down with the condition that you have to get to 300 items. Write down exactly what you want in your life and aim for 300, and don't stop writing until you hit 300. 300 things. It's so hard. It took me 3 days. The first 50 are easy.
Easy.
When you get to 100, it's like,
Okay, what else?
yeah, and you start to expand. And that's why I say I use a pencil, because you have to start getting more specific. It's like, I want a barn full of supercars. Well, if you just write that, it's very general.
Yes.
What supercar do you want? What color?
Specific. You have to be very specific, very detailed to the color, the model, the year.
Do you want to know why most people don't succeed?
You don't have these specific goals.
Most people don't succeed because they don't actually know what they want. Because they've never actually thought about it. Isn't that sad? Most people don't actually even know what they want or what they desire in life or what is even possible for them, because they never actually even thought about it, because nobody's asked them. And they never asked themselves.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And that's been my story until my stroke happened. I'll share my stroke story tomorrow with you. But until the stroke, I was lost. I was a sheep, not a lion. Shout out to Sean Whalen. But you're so right. And Vic Tippiness had a mastermind I was invited to, and he said, me and 10 people, he had a whiteboard, and he and I were talking back and forth. And He goes, you know what you want? I go, yes, I want X, Y, Z, med spas. I want to sell it to, private equity, get VCs get involved, whatever, this, and this, media company, run for office. He goes, I want a house. What type of house do you want?
Me.
He asked me.
Oh, yes, you.
6-bedroom. How many bathrooms?
6-bedroom. All with kids in them, yeah?
Yeah. He's, how many floors do you want? What area you want? Cool. I want Windermere. I want next to Sanjay. I love Sanjay's area.
Yeah.
What complex is it? What car? Private jet? Yes. You want to buy or lease it? I want to buy it. What jet do you want to get?
Yep. Do you know?
Do you know?
Most people don't even know how much money they want to make. Most people don't even know what kind of career they want. Most people don't even know what their ideal wife or husband looks like or acts like. I have a wife wish list on my phone, and I have a qualifying thing. But you know what's funny? I do both. I do this to myself constantly. By the way, so I'm single. Have a child with my ex. Beautiful daughter. She's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
1 year old.
She'll be 1.5 in June. It'd be great. So I'm single, and the reason I'm single is because I didn't ask these questions at the right time when I got into certain relationships, qualifying questions. But I do the reverse to myself. I say, okay, I'm going to build my perfect woman, my perfect wife. What color hair does she have? Eyes? How does she behave? What's height? Sure. What does she wear? How does she smell? How is our sex life? How does she deal with arguments? How's her family? You want to do the 300 things? You can do that with a woman too. To every detail. Where's this wrinkle? Right here. You know what I mean? Where's the dimple? So you can get very detailed. And then I looked at this woman that I built in my head on paper, and I say, what would that kind of woman look for in a man? And then you look at yourself in the mirror. Am I that man? If you're not, because that kind of woman
wants that type of man.
Yeah, he better be in shape. Exactly. He better have nice things. He better be kind and gentle. It's not just about what you have, and materially. Who are you in your soul? Who are you in your confidence? Does that woman want a tango when the violin starts playing? Fucking right she does. You better learn how to tango. Build yourself into the man for your perfect woman, and she will appear. That's what I've been doing. Love it.
Question. So that's something Vic talked about to the T, right? Law of attraction.
Oh yeah.
A very controversial topic, especially religion, right? A lot of people in Islam and Christianity say, well, God's in control. My perception of that is a little different. I feel I co-create with my higher powers, right? What you're telling me, you want to manifest this perfect woman. Do you believe in law of attraction?
So here's what I'm going to tell you about law of attraction.
Please, and pack in and your experience with
it. Yeah, no, for sure. So here's what I'm going to tell you about law of attraction and religion. They are completely coinciding. And people will disagree. They'll say, "Oh, no, God, God knows all." And so you're Muslim.
Yes, I am.
What is the most important things that I've read in the Quran, and I'm sure you've read as well? Allah is the best of planners.
Yes, he is. God
is the best of planners. Okay, so do you think that God has a great plan for you? Most people would say yes. If you know yourself, if you have great dreams, where does the dream come from? If you believe that God has a plan and God is the best of planners, He implanted that dream into you, correct? So if He implanted a dream into you, and He is giving you the thought of greatness, whatever that greatness is, could be that you want to play piano, could be that you want to be an entrepreneur, could be that you want to be a farmer, I don't care. Could be that you want to marry the most beautiful woman in the world and find your perfect wife and have 26 children. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand that if God is in charge and He's the best of planners, and He planned that dream in your head, and He planned the idea of you being able to achieve that dream, law of attraction is just you realizing what God's plan is. Wow. Law of attraction is you understanding God's plan. Finally, most of us have no clue. You have no idea what God's plan is. So when you start realizing this is in my heart and my soul and my head for a reason, and then you see, wait, I can believe it to be true, and if I believe it to be true, and I take the steps, and I walk as the man that has already accomplished this, that's what law of attraction and affirmation is. If I behave like the successful version of myself that I see in my head, that God put in my brain, you are following God's plan, and you just discovered it. Keep going.
Wow. First time I've heard that perspective. Powerful. When do you come across this perspective? I mean, what, years ago?
No,
You always had it?
it's always developing. It's always developing. It's through conversation. This conversation together right here, we learn things from each other.
Of course.
I'm going to learn things from you. So we're filming a podcast tomorrow on my channel.
Yes. Can't wait.
And I'm going to learn things from you. And, you heard the term network is your net worth, right?
100%.
So network is your net worth. I have been so privileged and blessed to build a massive global network everywhere. Gary has witnessed this. We don't even know how it happened. Like, some of this shit was ridiculous. Like, we both looked at each other a few times. We're like, are you seeing what we're doing?
Yeah.
It was baffling. Both of us almost made each other cry when we were talking at one time. I think we were in the car. We were in one of the Ubers or something. And when you talk to somebody, I have no need to get anything from you.
You don't.
Does that make sense?
100%.
When you network, people fuck up networking.
Yes.
People are takers or they are givers. But when you are looking to just actually make a connection,
That's all.
I want to make a connection to you because you are respectful, you are well-spoken, you yourself, align with a lot of principles and values that I have. Great. So I want to be around you.
Same here.
That makes sense.
100%.
But people are always looking to, hey, how you doing? To take money, to take business, to take something.
Your time.
To take time.
Tomo, I want to sit with you and share me how you build these clinics, man. I can take that information
Yes.
and go build one and take your time and energy and not provide any value back to you.
So, that's what's so important. That's what's so important about networking is not having the need to take from somebody, but truly going with them in a giving mentality. If you go in with a giving mentality and you go in and say, how can I help you, even if it's just to have a conversation? This conversation right here, I've said some things that have sparked something in you, and that's great. And you're going to say some
Facts.
things that'll spark something in me, and that's great.
Yeah.
But through that's how I develop my mentality. Because I learn from everybody. When I'm in Dubai, meeting with these people, being able to sit next to Mohammed Haftor, the third
I heard
richest
this
man
story.
in Dubai, and being able to sit somebody like him, being friends with Jewel Sullivan, sartorial shooter, who made me this bag, by the way, through Custom Made Reality.
That is Tate's right-hand person.
It is. So it's
He converted, by the way, to Islam. Interesting story.
he reverted to Islam. That's right. Yeah.
I was staying with you in London House the other day, and we got to know each other for the first time. Shook hands. Again, very, very charismatic, very hospitable. And you're sharing story how in Dubai, you sit with these people, and next to you, and you network. And I was like, wow, I haven't gone to Dubai. I'm going in December.
Perfect.
With my wife, and my kids, and going back though, networking. I agree with you, my friend, and today's generation does not know how to do that. We are just on the go, and we want your business card, and we need to start to connect with people without anything in return.
No expectations.
No expectations. Pure respect, friendship. Be conscious about your time, and that's an issue where I've seen quite across the board. Going back, so listen, the police world that came. Why you are a cop? You're a handsome man. A lot of girlfriends. Were you a bachelor, partying?
No, I wasn't really. Actually, that's kind of a funny thing. People automatically assume that.
Let's see the guy in front of me now. I'm thinking you're the same guy back then, dressed the way you are now.
No, mostly police uniforms and gym outfits.
Okay. I'm sure the nice clothes were not there. The money was not there.
The money was not there. No, a cop. I was making. I was lucky to make $80,000 a year.
Okay.
I think I broke 6 figures once in my career, and I worked 80 hours a week almost that whole year.
Got it.
Fun thinking about, again, being rich and having money and like being able to afford things is only cool if at one point you could never even get close to that. There's a cool story that the Tate brothers actually share all the time. Why does Tristan and Andrew eat KFC every birthday for Tristan? Because back in the day, Tristan had to go to KFC, and people would leave their leftovers
To take it.
on a table, and he would bring it and he would pack it all. Not the ones that were like take bites out of the leftovers, right?
Yeah.
And he'd take all the chicken, collecting from the tables, and then he would bring all that chicken back, and that's what him and Andrew would eat for protein for like a week. People don't know that. But, you know, and these guys are billionaires now. I don't know if you knew this, like they're actually billionaires. Yeah. So, that's only cool. It's only cool to have money when you had none. It's only cool to have freedom when you didn't have some. It's only cool to, there is no light without dark. There is no good without bad. There is no, you know, there is no wellness without lack of. What, have you ever been sick, like had like a bad flu or something?
Yes.
When you were sick, what was the only thing you could think about?
Getting better, feeling better, running around.
That's it.
Back to work.
Getting better.
Yeah.
Getting healthy. There's a story. You know who Socrates is?
Yes.
There's a story about Socrates. Okay, Socrates is a big, strong guy. I don't know if people know this. Socrates was a very capable, muscular guy. It wasn't just the old man with the beard that was a Stoic philosopher, okay? So Socrates had a student, and the student said, I want to gain more knowledge. I need to gain more knowledge. I want to yearn for more knowledge. How do I gain more knowledge? Okay, so Socrates takes him out, and they're out there in the near the sea. This is obviously near the Mediterranean. So Socrates takes him out, and he's like, we're going to go in the water. Weird. He goes in the water, and he gets the kid, and he grabs him by the head, and he shoves his head underwater. And he shoves his head underwater until he starts to struggle, and then violently struggle, and then he starts to panic. And then right before he starts to panic and obviously like potentially drowned, Socrates lifts him up out of the water. And he says, while you were underwater, what was the one thing that you were thinking about? He's like, air. To get air. He said, when you crave knowledge to that extent is when you will get all the knowledge you want. That's an actual written story of what happened. Take that into any part of your life. Anything. How bad do you want it? Most people don't want anything bad. Most people don't want anything bad enough to not sleep in, to not skip an alarm. Most people don't want anything bad enough to not watch TV every fucking night. Every night. People go home every night and watch TV. They go home. I don't have my phone in front of me. I do this a lot on my pod. Scroll, right? They go on TikTok. Drives me nuts. You don't want it bad enough to miss some sleep. Gary, how much you slept this week? What, 6 hours in the last 4 days? Probably. I'm serious. He's probably slept 2-3 hours a night. I see him. How bad do you want it? Not bad enough to get rid of your comforts. That's why I laugh at people that tell me like I can't get in shape. I just can't get in shape. You lazy fuck. Yes, you can. You don't want it. I can't quit smoking. Yes, you can. You don't want it. It's so easy, bro.
You have to pay the price, right? You have to pay the price. I mean, this guy, he has a bright future. I was talking to Gary about it earlier. Dude, what made you leave the law enforcement world?
People ask me this a lot. Law enforcement, through the late part of my career, got very hard to do. It's very hard to do your job. You know, you talk about, if you look at law enforcement now, the heavy hitters back in the day, talking about the ex-military guys, talking about the bodybuilders, talking about the fitness guys, the football players, those are the guys that were coming into law enforcement. We were less restricted, right? So we were less restricted. We were able to do our jobs. We were able to fight crime. Then it started, you know, I hate to make this about politics, but, you know, the liberalism and the left way of thinking is a kinder, gentler way of kind of doing police work.
Come on, yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's all good. Everyone comes
So the last few years, I basically started, I remember getting pulled into, I don't remember who, I don't even remember what sergeant it was, but I got yelled at for harassing the black community. I'm white. It's fine. Whatever, you know. If you're watching some black and white, you may not know. I'm a white guy. I'm a 100% Croatian, you know, European-looking white dude, okay? I worked in the black communities. So I get called in, I'm like, we're getting complaints that you harass the black community. I'm like, the whole community's black. Who? Well, you're shaking guys down, you're arresting these certain, I'm like, the fucking crack dealers? The guys that are dealing drugs, the gang members? I'm like, that's who I'm harassing? turned into a bigger and bigger problem. They ended up pulling me out of this black community and putting me on the east side. You know, white people. I don't want to work with white people, bro. I want to be a cop. I want to find bad guys. This white community was all old ladies, and it was during the daytime. I remember pulling a lady over and asking where'd she stay at. Can you imagine me pulling over a 65-year-old woman and say, where do you stay at? She's like, excuse me? I'm like, I'm sorry, what's your address, ma'am? Fuck. Bro, like, this is real. I did this for my whole career, so you can't pull me out of this neighborhood. So then they put me on the beach. I ain't even getting more shit. And then it turned into a point where, you know, I'm realizing, I'm like, okay, they don't want cops to be proactive anymore. They want us to sit in our cars and just wait for the call to come in and then deal with the call and be nice and gentle and then go back to our station and type a stupid fucking report that does nothing instead of arresting bad guys. So the last couple of years of my career, that's exactly what I did. And I sat in the car and I hated my career and I hated my life and I watched Netflix until I got a call. That's what I did. They ruined the career for me. But again, Allah's the best of planners. God's the best of planners. Everything happens for a reason. I'm so happy that I was pushed to this place where I left law enforcement in 2018. Late September, late October 2018. Leave police work. Go and work for a medical clinic that does HRT and wellness and hormone therapy, wellness, all these things. And I go and work there as sales and marketing coordinator, basically. Leave my law enforcement career, build that company from 700 patients to almost 4,000.
What year?
2018 to 19.
Wow.
And then in August of 2009.
Pre-COVID.
Yes. Yeah. Well, here, this is the fun part. August of 2019, I leave that company because I find out some nefarious negative things happening, some illegal things, and I was like, okay, I can't be a part of this. Try to fix it. Can't be a part of this. Leave. Had to go talk to some 3-letter federal agencies. So I'm very well documented. I've talked about this before. Leave that company, end up having to make the decision. Am I going to go back to law enforcement in that safety zone that I wanted to, you know, that I knew I could do? Or do I take everything that I have, everything that I can, and do I build my own clinic and do it the right way? The legal way, the honorable way. And that's what I did. And I basically went damn near bankrupt for multiple years, didn't pay myself for multiple years, stopped paying my car payment, stopped paying my mortgage, stopped paying my credit cards. Credit score got down to like 500 and got an investor. And I went into building what is now Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic. And I started that in September of 2019 here in Orlando. I had to leave Tampa. I was in Tampa at the time. I had to leave Tampa because of a contract. Had to be more than a certain miles away.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's what led me to Orlando. That's why I'm here. Look, this is why I'm here, right?
The universe works in mysterious ways.
Best of planners.
Yes.
I had to come to Orlando. And then as soon as I got this clinic basically in the green, COVID happened.
So you got you opened Aspire in 2018?
2019.
First year.
And then
you're struggling.
No, late 2019. I didn't open until September of 2019. So we didn't even make money, really. We were just basically skating by until the first of basically 2020. What happened in March 2020, everybody? You remember?
COVID.
I remember.
Everything changed for us.
State of Florida telling me to shut the company down. I'm like, can't. Fuck it. We're not shutting down. Lock the doors. We had patients coming in. And if the health department... Oh, we're closed, we're just cleaning. Swear to God, that's what happened. And then I figured out telemedicine. The telehealth and telemedicine, virtual visits, started to become a thing through COVID with Zoom and with all these different platforms. And I was like, oh, well, the law says we can now market to the entire country and do telemedicine. That's how I built my company. COVID built Aspire.
That's amazing.
Best of planners.
Wow. I like struggle's story. You said you were struggling.
Yes.
When opening it. I mean, how bad? You said you're behind your car. What car are you driving back then? A Lambo?
No.
That, Austin?
I was driving an older... What the hell was I driving? I was driving an older Audi A7, which was cool.
Yeah.
It was sick, but it kept like breaking.
Okay.
You know, German cars after 30,000 miles.
No designer clothes?
No, no designer clothes. No, no.
No Rolexes in the
Didn't buy my
Patex?
first Rolex until, what, 3 years? 3 years after I opened business. Yeah, I didn't buy my first Rolex until then. What am I wearing right now? I'm wearing a Vacheron right now. So, you know what I mean? Not a flex, just saying it's just real. You know what I mean? But when I was going through that, like I slept in my office. I've told this story before on podcasts, and it's real. And it's like people watched it, people saw it. I slept in my office. I slept on IV chairs. My staff would come in and they're like, "Did you sleep here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good though." Shower at the gym. Couldn't afford groceries. I used to walk into grocery stores and thinking I had $60 in my checking account. $60. $60. And I think I would have it in there, but then like something got paid in insurance or something, my car insurance, whatever. And my account now has zero. And I'm checking out, and I'm like, I know I got $60. I got some chicken, I got some, good shit, rice, whatever. And I go and check out, declined. I'm like, impossible. I go and check the account, zero. I'm like, sorry, ma'am, embarrassed, walk out. And then it's amazing what you can kind of figure out, because then I found, I go home and I'm like, all right, I'm actually hungry, like literally hungry. I worked all day, I'm fucking hungry. Thought I was gonna have some food tonight. End up finding an old packet of rice, like Uncle Ben's microwave rice, which is trash, by the way. I don't suggest you eat that. And I find that, and I find a can of chicken. If you guys ever had canned chicken, it tastes like shit, but with hot sauce. That night, may as well have been a 5-star meal.
But Tomo, it's not that far long ago. Bro.
No, we're talking. That was 2020, 2019. Yeah,
5 years ago.
That's 5 years ago. Yeah. That's how fast you can do it, though. And that's what people don't realize. People usually quit before they even get started. People quit when it's hard. People quit, when you're on that rocky road, when it's scary. I was in a position where I didn't have to take care of a wife. I didn't have to take care of kids, and I could risk it. And I knew that.
You did.
And I basically told myself, I'm like, hey, I know I can risk this. If I fail, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
What, fucking file bankruptcy? Mm-hmm. Go back to being a cop? Cool.
Sign me up.
Who gives a fuck?
I'll do it.
People are too afraid to even do that. And then I see these kids, I call them kids, I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 in a month. I can't believe that, by the way.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Celebrate his birthday soon.
Yes, in a very different country.
No way, man.
It'll be interesting.
Okay, I hope we get an invite.
It'll be interesting.
All
We'll
right.
see. We'll see how many people we can pile into this.
I love it.
We'll see. So we're, we talk about, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What was I just saying?
Oh, kids. He says it's about kids and they're not
The
kids.
risk.
Yeah,
the risk. Okay, so people forget to even put it all on the line. And I see these kids. I see these young people in their 20s and their early 30s. I was broke. I was a cop until 2018. How old was I at 2018? Was it 33?
Yeah. No.
85. I was born in 85.
Yeah.
So yeah, 33.
Yeah.
33. I'm turning 40. 33, I was a cop. 34, I was working for a different medical clinic, making basically not much money. 35, I was broke again, starting a company. 36, 37, still pretty broke. Wasn't making money like I am now. I'm turning 40 this year. I'm in the process of getting close to making $250,000 a month. That's fucking cool. That's cool. Amazing. That's not a flex. It's just fucking cool.
It's a fact and it's cool.
It's a fact.
And it could be done.
That's the point. That's the point. The point is that you limit yourself. You watching. All of us. We all limit ourselves so much. And it's not your conscience. That's God. It's not your heart. It's not your gut. It's your brain. What is your brain's main purpose? To protect you. Your brain will tell you to take the easy road out every time. Why? Because it wants you to be safe. Where does growth not happen? When you're safe. In that safety zone, in the safety net, you will not take risks. You will not... I'm never going to say spend money, and here's why. I almost said spend money. Circulate money.
Better word. I'm with you.
This is why. This is why we say circulate instead of spend.
I'm so with you.
When you say you spend money, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's now away from you. Okay? You gave it somewhere else. If you say circulate money, and then you remind yourself that all money that you circulate will come back to you, twofold, tenfold, 20-fold, 100-fold, doesn't matter. When you say you circulate it, that means it's coming back. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, maybe in 10, 20 years, doesn't matter. It may come to your children, right? Circulate money, don't spend it. You know, so when you're so afraid to take that hard road, you're so afraid to take this path, I'm telling you, when you feel like you're like, all right, fuck this, I'm going to quit. You know, and like, they're stupid bets, guys. Can we say that?
Absolutely.
They're stupid bets. There are things that you should stop doing because they don't make sense, they're not profitable, they are the wrong move. But you also know that if you're listening to your gut and your heart. Stop listening to this motherfucker. It's dumb. This is dumb. This is protective. This is real. This is real. Your gut's real. Your gut's your second brain. Okay? You know the gut feeling that I'm talking about.
Nailed it.
It's so, getting successful is so easy when you don't follow this, because this tells you what you've learned. This tells you what you learned, and where did you learn it? Society. Society tells you to be fucking broke and to be a slave.
And safe.
And safe. But safety is.
And comfortable.
Safety is, all that's the same, all that thing is safe. In the safety zone, yeah, you'll be able to make enough money to feed yourself, maybe have a house, apartment probably now, right? Everybody can be successful. I never ever, so I have employees, you have employees, right? Would you ever stop your employee from taking a massive opportunity to be successful?
Absolutely not.
No, never. If any of my employees ever came to me and said, I had this massive opportunity, and I really love the company, I love Aspire, and I feel bad because I want to keep supporting your dream. No way. Get the fuck out of this office. I'm going to clap you all the way out, bro, because I want all my friends to be successful. I want Gary to be driving a Lamborghini. It pisses me off that he's not. Are you driving a Lamborghini yet?
Not yet.
Fucking let's go, bro. We need to. I'll go to the Lamborghini dealer with you. I know the guy. Let's go. This is cool. But it's, stop being afraid is the main point. Your fear is limiting you. Your love of comfort is limiting you. Your love of the comfortable things such as TV and shitty food and sleeping in and skipping your alarm and not going to the gym. The hard road is the path to glory, and that's the path that God wants you on. That's how you make God proud of you. That's how you manifest. That's how you affirm who you are. You want to be successful? Stop taking the easy road, and all of you are. Almost all of you.
Wrap it up. Let's go home now. Fuck it. Close the shop, bro. We're done.
Fuck.
Wow. So much to unpack there, man. You read my mind to the T. Oof. You know, there's a reason why we met, man, Tomo.
100%.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man.
100%. I fully believe. And you know, we talk about like that path, right? We talk about that path. My path to law enforcement, where it led me. My path in bodybuilding, which led me to study all the hormones, all the wellness, endocrinology, all this stuff, which led me into this career path. Working for the other clinic. Having to move to Orlando. Forcing my accounting, to join London House when I couldn't afford it. That's how I did that. I bought a car. I had a life coach named Sean Huber, awesome guy. If you guys need anybody, if you guys need a suggestion, Sean Huber's awesome. Still talk to him to this day. I don't pay.
He's local here?
He's in Tampa actually,
okay.
But he'll do
virtual.
Virtual. So this guy tells me my Audi was taking a shit. It's a cool story. My Audi was taking a shit, and he's like, Tomo, you want to be around this circle of people. You want to be around the right people. You want to learn how to do business. You need to be around business people. You need to be driving the right car, and you know that's going to get you in that circle. It's a fucking weird thing to say. But he's right.
100%.
He's right.
Facts.
He said, what kind of car do you want to drive? I didn't say I want to drive a Lamborghini, because I knew I can't fucking afford that. I was like, I really like the Porsche Panamera. Not expensive car, not crazy. It's kind of like a soccer mom's Porsche.
It is.
You know what I mean? But it's sexy.
Sexy.
So and he says, you need to go buy the Porsche Panamera. I'm like, bro, I can't afford it. So he tells me this, idea, basically, you need to get the car that will bring you into the circles that you want to get into. What do you want? I said, I want a Porsche Panamera. He said, go buy it. I'm like, I can't afford it. He says, can you not afford it, or can you not afford it? Those are two different questions, right? Are you literally unable to afford it? And I said, I can afford it. It's a bad fucking financial move. He says, go buy it, trust me, and trust yourself. Okay. My accountant says, you're fucking retarded. Can we say retarded?
Yes,
I'm going
we
to
can.
beep that one.
We
We say retarded in 2025? Fuck, I'm 1985, guys. We were able to say shit when I was a kid.
80s.
Yeah. So, my accountant says, no way. Bad move. My mother was doing the books for the company, and she says, don't do it. You can't. I'm like, listen to my gut. Okay. Fucking going to buy a Porsche. So, go to the Porsche dealership, trade in my car. They gave me basically shit for it.
A few bucks.
Yeah. And I get this Porsche Panamera. Payment was more than I've ever seen in my life. I don't remember how much it was. And
Over $1,000 a month?
it was.
Okay.
It was maybe $1,400
Got
a
it.
month, something like that. And
Got it.
granted, I didn't have great credit, so I got a shit
Okay,
rate.
so you took it.
But
Yeah.
it got me this car that kind of got me there. And of course, because I'm an asshole, had to put wheels on it.
Yeah.
Just put nice wheels on it, lower it, a couple grand, not that expensive. I brought it, from somewhere else. I might actually made that in crypto at one point.
Okay.
So I have this car, and Ultimate Auto, are you familiar?
Yes.
Ultimate Auto invites me to a car show because I'm friends with Christian, I'm friends with the family, and I got my wheels done there. So I go there, I'm the first one there. All these dudes start rolling up in Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And I meet a guy named Peter Light. And shout out to him, my brother. He is a very wealthy Brazilian man.
What's
Came
it?
from a
Peter
very
what?
light.
Okay.
It's spelled like lighty.
Okay.
So he's in a Ferrari, sick. Custom F8 red. I remember it was a sick car. And I'm dressed well. He's dressed well. Because again, I'm trying to represent myself. He invites me back to London House after the event. It was a daytime car show. My first time I ever went to London House. Now I'm basically riding his coattails in his London House membership. Okay. I'm like, oh shit, I'm around senators, I'm around multimillionaires, I'm around billionaires. I'm now in this circle, and I'm like, okay, that car got me there. And I'm like, a couple months in, basically they tell me, like, hey, you need to get your own membership if you're gonna, I'm like, okay. So I call my accountants. I talk to my my guy. I talked to my guy, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you should get that membership. It's going to keep you in the circle and make the investment.
Oh, you coach, your life
My life coach, Sean. So call the CPA, call the accountant, call the team. You can't fucking afford this. It was expensive, bro. It was expensive back
over
then.
10K.
No, over 50K. It was just spread throughout the year.
Oh shit.
So I'm basically hiring an employee by buying this membership. This is late 2020, early 2021, I believe, somewhere
COVID's
in there.
kind of died down a little bit.
It was kind of dead in Florida,
Yeah.
But so I'm like, all right, I got to invest in this. From investing in that membership, not being afraid. And what am I doing, right? I'm not being afraid. Scared money doesn't make money. I'm not being afraid to spend my money or what? Circulate my money. Because when I circulated my money into that car, it brought me what? Came back to me tenfold. When I circulated my money into getting into London House Private Members Club, what did it do? It came back to me tenfold. How did I use London House? Not to sell the clinic, not to sell people testosterone or HRT or anything. I used it to learn. I started asking the multimillionaires and the billionaires and the people in that building, hey, like, what did you do for this? Like, hey, and like, these people started understanding that I didn't want anything from them but knowledge. And I was doing what? I was handing out people cigars. I was buying somebody a drink. I would invite them to breakfast or lunch and buy them their lunch or breakfast, even though I couldn't fucking afford it. Because that got the account to damn near $100. But my thought process in this was, I'm paying for education. I am circulating this money to talk to the people that actually did this. Let me tell you something about education. Everything I learned in college was fucking useless. Sorry. Unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, maybe an architect.
Engineer.
That's
it.
College is useless. Okay? So, but education is the most important thing ever. But let me tell you something. If you want to go learn how to run a business, an MBA is never going to help you. Go and sit down with the people that are running businesses and ask them what they do. That's how I learned to structure my corporate structure from the top down, having a holding corporation, to own the corporations, to own the LLCs. My buddy Pete calls it an octopus. He's like, The head of the octopus can never get touched. He said, if you have an LLC that fucks up or gets sued, he's like, you can cut off a tentacle. The octopus keeps swimming. I'm like, damn, that's a good analogy.
Love it.
You know? But investing and circulating my money in that way is what got me there. And it all started with a stupid car. Isn't that funny? Some of my best friends I made through a watch. Literally walking in and like someone like, damn, nice watch. I'm like, hey, you got a nice watch too. We're friends now. I've said this before. I actually made a reel. I'm not sure if I shared this with you. Entrepreneurship trophies is what I like to call them. This watch means shit. Watch doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. What matters is you were able to attain it. This bag, if you buy it from Louis Vuitton, costs $70,000. My buddy who got the Himalaya Croc, Jules Sullivan, it was maybe supposed to cost $20,000 through him. I think I maybe paid $7,000 for it. He gave it to me for cost because he's a brother, right? That bag got me in the room at Vacheron Constantin in Dubai to get this watch. He was there. Gary behind the camera was in the building with me. He walked with me in there. They sat us in the back room to present all these different watches that are unavailable. Can't buy them. Can't get them. Can't even ask for them. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't need your money. When people are so scared to spend money, circulate money. See, I just said it again. You got to, Gary, my legs. Stab me with something, right? Yeah. So when you are so scared to circulate your money, scared money doesn't make money, okay? And money is an energy. Do you agree? So what is money? It's a piece of paper, or it's a credit card, it's whatever. But it's time spent and it's energy spent. Your energy goes into producing wealth and money and the attainment of that, right? So it's energy. If you have a bad energy with money, money will run away from you. If you have an energy that attracts money and attracts wealth and attracts abundance, you can make unlimited money. And then you get to a point where money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get to a point where money actually doesn't even have a value that you think it does. You just understand that it opens doors. Bills become nonsensical. They don't matter at a certain point. That's where you want to get. That's freedom to me. I'm not saying it's freedom to you, not saying it's freedom to you, but when you look at money as energy and time spent, the most valuable thing that you have is time and is energy. Make as much money as you possibly can. Not in a selfish way, just in a way to have freedom. I want that for every single person around me. I don't want to hoard money myself. I would rather circulate it to all of my friends and family.
And help others.
That's it.
The more needy. This wallet, Dior wallet, my wife pushed me to get it. I was very frugal 2-3 years ago.
That's Dior?
Dior.
It's expensive.
Right.
It's expensive.
It's all right. And I had a crappy wallet falling apart. I was depressed. I had a real estate brokerage as part of. It didn't work out. I'm very down about. And she took me to Dior to buy something. She goes, listen, your wallet sucks. I can feel you. I can feel your energy. Honey, babe, just get it. Just get it. I'm like, I don't want to get it. You know, it's Dior. It's I don't.
This is your wife?
My wife.
I like her.
Right?
Good job.
You have a great time talking to her. And she goes, babe, just get it because you'll feel better. I'm like, no, and I got this. And Tomo and Gary, this was for him was a car. This was my Porsche. It was a big, how you say
Like milestone.
Milestone.
Yeah.
And that direction to get better. Now I go to Dior all the time. I remember my buddy the other day, they come to give me dabs. Hey, KB's here. Dave, we have a new hoodie back there. I mean, it just changes everything.
Well, it's a relationship.
It's a relationship.
It's a relationship, and it's a. Guys, things matter. They don't matter, but they matter.
It's a funny story. I was the other day. I'm like, babe, you know what? I think I'm gonna simple down my lifestyle. I'm gonna open more clinics. I'm gonna cut back the podcast, cut back the rollie, put everything away. And she goes, don't you fucking dare do that. You need to go train your BMW and get a Porsche. Or you know what? And you need to get a Porsche. Your brand is on the up and up right now. Mm-hmm. You're meeting the right people, and I would not allow you to do that. I'm like, oh shit. And having good women is so crucial. You know what I mean? I'm very blessed and I'm just, But dude, like, you're so right. That, you know, he was so uncomfortable, and thank God that coach of yours, that mentor said, hey, fuck it. And, you know, and all the people around me said, no, man, what's wrong with you?
I've done the same thing so many times, and it's not always the right move.
I get it.
But let me tell you something. The right move. Okay, let me say this again. The wrong move is also the right move. Sounds weird, right? Here's why. I put in maybe $250,000 into a business that was not in my field, right? So I my scope is like the wellness, the medical. Yes, I'm an executive partner in Goliath Ventures, which is in the crypto Web3 environment. But on the clinic side, I invested into an automotive business.
Okay.
And put maybe $200,000, $250,000, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. And this is why it's so fun, because it doesn't fucking matter. Sounds cool, right?
Sounds really cool.
So this situation ends up going basically awry and ends up basically going to shit. And I'm in a conversation, and basically we're talking to two of our CPAs and another business advisor, and it's me and it's my CFO, and we're all having a conversation, and we're like, fuck, we lost $250,000. And everybody's like, oh, him and hawing, whatever. And I stop and I'm like, isn't that fucking cool that all of us still have houses, cars, and money in the bank account and food on our tables, and we could just throw away we just burned $250,000? And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That sounds crazy to a lot of people. But why was it not crazy, and why was it a great lesson? And why was the wrong thing ultimately the right thing? Because it taught me not to venture outside of my scope in investments. It taught me how to structure contracts better. It taught me how to look at who to trust and how to trust people better in business relationships. It taught me to, basically behave and walk in a different way when it came to business. So ultimately, was it the wrong decision? No. It was the right decision because it taught me
a lot.
It probably is going to save me $100 million in the long run. It only $100 million only cost me $250,000. Fucking good deal, bro. I'm into that. I got a master's degree. I got a PhD in how not to fuck that up. Only cost me $250,000. The wrong thing is always the right thing.
What a lesson.
The wrong thing is always the right thing.
I would love it. Before we wrap up, Goliath, I can't stop. I can't go without talking about
Of course, bro. No, that's great.
Amazing organization. Steven was here yesterday. Steven's a good friend of mine now. And my brother. David and Steven are my brother. That's my brother right there. We met the third time. I feel like I know you guys forever. Like, that first podcast we did last week. These guys, the jokes they make, the energy they have in your office, your studio. Dude, Goliath, what a company, what an organization. I want to meet the owner. We found each other on social media. I want to do it on a podcast. I'm going to request you or Steven to help me connect that.
Yeah, I'll connect you. I'll connect you with Chris. He's extremely busy.
Yeah, I can.
I think he flew out on a jet this morning.
I follow him on social media.
Yeah.
That night at the gala, he went to the airplane to New York City.
Yeah, then took a helicopter to skip over traffic. I think something like this crazy.
What a story. How did Goliath come into your life?
So again, the best of planners. This podcast might need to be called the best of planners.
I'm gonna name that.
You know what I mean? It's honestly because I met Chris Delgado, CEO of Goliath. I've been in Goliath for several years.
Okay.
I was one of the early people coming in. I met Chris at London House. You guys remember the story? Porsche, London House membership I couldn't afford. Now I'm a member of London House. I was sitting there and I was in there pretty much every day because at that point I didn't have my private office where you went in the podcast to. I didn't have that private office at that point. I had to kick myself out of my clinic because I used to have a private office there because I was working in the clinic. I had to kick myself out because I had to put staff in there. So now I'm working every day from home or London House. London House became my office. So every day, London House used to open earlier back then. Every day I'd be working there at a table on my computer, and for almost, like a month? Chris ever tell you this? For like a month he thought I was like so mean. He'd come in, and Chris is very smiley. He's always got a big smile on his face. It's just his personality. And he'd come in and he'd be smiling, and I'm working. So do you guys want to see my happy face? That's my happy face. You wouldn't know. So every time he came in, that's what it. You know what I mean? And I never met him yet. I just saw him, and I started to recognize him, and I gave him the head nod, and I have a very stoic, non-smiley face. He thought I was fucking scary. You know what I mean? Truly, he's told me this, and it was so funny. And he's like, I thought you were a fucking asshole. I thought you were scary. And then one time, I finished work, and he happened to come in, and I saw him at the bar. And we're sitting at the bar, and I have a bunch of cigars with me, and I smoke Cuban cigars. And I'm like, do you smoke cigars? Me and him went outside. We smoked a Cuban cigar. We became friends. Never asked about business for months and months, maybe a year. Eventually, he became a patient at a Aspire Rejuvenation Clinic. And we've helped him on his journey with weight loss and becoming in shape and being healthy.
Great.
And I ended up coming in and becoming a partner in Goliath Ventures and putting some money into Goliath Ventures, which has been life-changing for me. And then eventually, you know, he asked me to come up and do this event with him, coming from an outside perspective as a partner. And basically, I went up with his entire team up to Canada, up to Toronto. We're doing this trip
2 days from now.
2 days from now, flying up on the jet on Friday. And, you know, he asked me to go up there, and I started to immerse myself in Goliath. And then that was in November, I believe, of 2023, 2. I don't even remember. It was early. And then I ended up becoming an executive partner in the company. Now part of the company. I'm part of the inner workings of the company, and it's been a massive blessing for me, for my family, and we've been able to circulate our money and invest our money into Goliath Ventures, into this liquidity pool provision, and making an amazing rate of return. Conservative for the crypto market, but amazing for the rest of the market. When you realize the banks are stealing from you, and all the investment funds are stealing from you, and they're giving you 3% a year, 4% a year if you're lucky in the economy. When you can make 20, 30, 40% a month, or 40% a year, when you look at that, 2%, 3%, 4% a month, when you can make returns like that, and that's considered conservative, it's life changing. It's life changing. I've brought in my mother is involved in the fund. She brought her own money in. My brother, my grandfather. My grandfather doesn't know what a Bitcoin is. He doesn't know what cryptocurrency is. He has no clue. He looked at it. He trusts his grandson. He trusts his daughter, and then he does his own, basically due diligence. Yeah, fuck, people are making money. You know what I mean? It's great. But Goliath is a private fund. Okay, so this isn't a sales pitch. You guys can't even ask to come into it. You guys, it doesn't exist like that.
And no one has pitched me yet. I met everyone, and I'm asking questions. So
yeah, no, this is a.
You're invited to it. Yeah, you can't be.
You have to be invited to it. It is a private venture fund. Yeah. You get completely vetted. You go through KYC. You go through it's a serious thing. We have third party verification.
Trust me, I asked some of the big people at Central Florida about it before, and they said, "Yeah, dude,
it's incredible." You know what I mean? And whenever you're ready to have a higher level conversation, you talk to Steve, you talk to Dave, you talk to me. It doesn't matter. Any of us can help you.
Right. And John Mason too.
And John Mason. Mason's a great dude.
Yeah.
So you have this thing, and it's a freedom tool. It's a freedom tool. It's being able to bring your assets and your money into a place where you can multiply it in a safe way, in a way that is not only it's good for the company, of course, good for Goliath, but it's good for you because it's honest. We're not going to tell you, we could easily say 1% a month. We respect our partners. We're giving a healthy rate of return because we want our partners thriving. Because what happens when you build this ecosystem? This is like networking. When you build this ecosystem of multiple people who have been helped, who have been assisted, who have now the means and the wealth to be able to now circulate more money. What happens when we want to buy the Orlando Magic? Could happen. Might happen. Don't know if it'll happen. But it could. Here's why. Because when we go and access our network, and now we have 500 individuals from all over the world that now have the means and the wealth and the freedom to be able to recirculate their money and put it into a project. Let's say we want to build a school in Africa. All we got to do is make a call, send an email to our Goliath network. Guess what? We'd probably have tens, if not hundreds of millions to do this immediately. And this is what we do. Our charitable donations into the community and into the country and outside the country are massive. We donate millions and millions and millions of dollars every single year, not just as a company, but all of us individually.
Yeah, Steven told me yesterday, the gala we all went to on Saturday, you guys, the main sponsor was you guys. I know the number, but that was given by y'all.
Yep.
You have 20 tables all over.
Yep.
And that was mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, and every single person gave multiple thousands, on top of what we are. We didn't have to give any
We
more.
don't have any more.
But we did. Why? Because this is what it's for. And what are we doing? We are recirculating. You don't think that the universe, God, karma, I don't give a shit what you call it. You don't think that you give $10,000 to kids with cancer and their families, you don't think it's going to come back to you? But I don't care.
No,
I don't care if it comes back to me, but it will. It will. It's impossible not to. That's a boomerang, and the boomerang gets bigger when it comes back to you, I'll tell you. And it's happened to me over and over. Every time I've helped somebody, every time I've been there for other people, every time I've looked at things from a non-monetary way and only in a way to help people, it has come back to me tens, if not hundredfold. Because goodness brings back goodness. Selfishness will only breed more selfishness. If you put good into the world, you will get good multiplied back to you. If you are a selfish, cheap, lazy person who doesn't have God's favor, you are not going to get fucking anywhere. You may get it for this much, but it's fake. You'll lose it.
Powerful. My friend, oh my God, part 2 has to come up so soon. We have
Yes.
so much to unpack. I'm thinking having David, Steven.
We can do a roundtable.
We should do a roundtable. That would be amazing. Have Sanjay part of that. Sanjay has also been part of Goliath Investor.
He is.
I found out.
He's been a long time partner
Yeah.
with us, and it's doing well for him, man.
So if Sanjay does it, man, a right way to do it. Listen, man. Again, closing words, brother. My expectations were here with you. You blew it out.
I appreciate that, bro.
The value that you have shared, I'm looking eye to eye, man. Third time meeting, man. First time really having a conversation, if you think about it.
Yeah, true.
Following you on social media, I'm so grateful to my higher power that we crossed paths. You're doing God's work in so many ways, brother. Your clinic, I pray for you. May Allah bless your clinics in abundance. You're opening more internationally, inshallah. May it come back for your daughter, your beautiful daughter, and your family members. Your mom has an office there. I'd love to meet her one day. I'll be there tomorrow.
Perfect.
Inshallah. With that being said, guys, a lot to take away. The amazing thing I love about this podcast, he gave you tangible tasks you can take away and change your life. Like him, like myself, like Gary, we all had different careers back in the day. He had law enforcement. I was a marketing guy, and a stroke changed my life. You can change your life. You can be going through a divorce, a drug addiction, a stroke, heart attack, bankruptcy. You can pick up the gun and do that. We talked about it. Sean Whalen talks about it. That's not the way to do it. Don't give up. A girl breaks your heart. Your wife cheats on you. Your husband cheats on you. It's okay. Get some therapy. Find God. Exercise. Bedros Koulian says it all the time. For men especially, get jacked, make a lot of money, take care of your family, everything will work out. So stay tuned. This episode will become real soon. Tomo, my man, I love you. Thank you for coming on
Much
here.
love, bro. Thank you.
And inshallah, we'll do much more.
Inshallah.
Thank you, man. Wow.